Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Just got done with an awesome breakfast. My stomach right now is full of French toast and bacon. What a better way to kick off the day. I have no clue. But woke up this morning, early this morning, with the big news that on last night's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said none other than CM Punk will be at the Chicago Monday Night Raw. At first, I was kind of excited, thinking like this was like going to be like a really, really big moment, something to remember for the ages, you know, the night that Punk came back. Maybe they'll put the microphone in his hand, and maybe they'll let him say, you know, what made him leave, and this, that, and the other. But then, I think, you know, they never even really explained that Punk was gone. Like, back in the day, like if, you know, Shawn Michaels would have took off like this or something like that, you would have had you would have had Vince McMahon probably have some sort of promo, like just saying like, you know, Shawn, I know you're out there listening to me, just come back and all will be forgiven and this, that, and the other. But nothing. They never even mentioned him once. And honestly, from watching TV from the Rumble till now, if it wasn't for reading the internet and it wasn't for making videos on YouTube and stuff like that, I wouldn't even have noticed that CM Punk was gone. He's not really missing. To have him come back right now, in my opinion, he's nothing more, you know, he doesn't prove his case that, you know, that WWE keeps on bending over for these past stars to come back, like The Rock, like Batista. I can argue for The Rock. I mean, The Rock coming back to WWE, that was huge. Honestly, that put them in a whole nother, you know, stage of the game, bringing a huge pop culture, you know, movie star into WWE. You know, it brings a whole lot of notice. I think everybody can remember, you know, watching Raw when The Rock made his return and he came back and he announced as the guest host of WrestleMania 27. I remember going to work and telling, you know, people who weren't wrestling fans anymore, and one of my buddies, his face was just like, I fucking missed it. Like, he couldn't believe that The Rock came back and he wasn't watching. He hadn't watched wrestling in a long time. But honestly, since then, he is one of those fringe wrestling fans that does TiVo it, and he does watch it when he gets a chance. And he's a guy that now, since The Rock, you know, came back and had his run, I'm able to talk to and have a conversation with about wrestling and everything else. But, you know, Batista coming back has, it gave us the big moment when they aired the commercial for him, the little promo. I believe it was on the Christmas Raw. Maybe it was somewhere in there saying that he was coming back before the Rumble. And then he's come back. He's won the Rumble. And honestly, he hasn't really brought a whole lot with him. It's just sort of like, you know, there he is. And it's not like people are pouring out of the Batista fan banks, you know, to pour on and you know, jump on ship with WWE because, you know, the big star Batista's back. It's, you know, he hasn't really brought anything to the table. And a lot of people have turned against him. And I don't even think people are turning against him for the one fact that, you know, CM Punk left. I think there are people are turning against Batista because everything leading up to the Royal Rumble was, you know, Daniel Bryan was going to get his shot. Look at how many people predicted Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble. And he was never even in the plans to do it. I mean, I was on here. I had been predicting him to win the Rumble since, I don't know, I think I started predicting him in late October. I started saying Daniel Bryan was going to win the Rumble, and it was going to be, you know, the big one. But, you know, just in my eyes, Punk honestly doesn't really, he doesn't come off looking good here. In my eyes, I don't want to cheer him. I don't want to boo him. He's just sort of going to be there. He really, right now, is sort of, you know, fucking up the WrestleMania plans. I just, you know, I thought about this when they did the Batista heel turn at the Tuesday Night SmackDown tapings. That it's weird that they would turn Batista this sort of heel character, even though he sort of still is a little bit of babyface. Because he says that he will cheer the people that, you know, cheer him, just boo the people that boo him. And he, you know, everybody in the WWE universe, you know, deserves the right to do what they want to do because, you know, they all bought their tickets and that's what they're there for. And if it wasn't for them buying their tickets, you know, he wouldn't get paid and, you know, all that sort of shit. But, you know, having two guys go out there like that, Orton versus Batista, everybody can see that this match is a disaster waiting to happen. Not that the work's going to be bad in the ring, just that nobody's going to give a fuck about what's going on. On Monday, they teased us with Daniel Bryan sort of, challenging Triple H to a fight, and he said that he couldn't get that fight, but they would find a spot for him at WrestleMania. And the way he said it was kind of like, we'll find you a spot, almost like he was going to end up in some sort of like 6-man or 8-man tag or something like that. Sort of like, you're not really that important, but we'll make sure that you have a match so you're there. It never really sounded like Triple H was going to, put him in the World Heavyweight Championship match. But then again, maybe, Vince can come to his senses. Maybe like somebody like Mick Foley, somebody who's really, really been like, pumping his fist on Twitter, can come and talk to Vince and convince Vince to put him in there, and that Triple H, hasn't really been running the show that well. I know that, all signs have, pointed that they're dumping the storyline of Triple H versus Vince for the right to own the company. I guess, Vince either sees that it's not going to work, or he doesn't really want to give up that chance to be on TV every now and then. I mean, like, all of us know, Triple H is on there all the damn time, but come, October, when they hit the funk and they're going up against the World Series and football and everything else like that, they're going to pull Vince out of the bag. They're going to put him out there on TV, even if it's just to do really nothing, because people know that when Vince is there, the business is real. I don't know. I'm not that excited about Punk being there. I think it might be a moment to see. It's just a matter of, what they do. Maybe they're just, saying Punk's going to be there, and then Triple H will bring out a midget, CM Punk, and just to get all that heat out of that building in Chicago. I don't know if that's good heat or bad heat. It could be, I'm never going to watch wrestling ever again, like HBK 25. He's not even going to the show. But basically he's already, put it out there that, if he's not into wrestling as much, when CM Punk isn't around. Almost like when Alex Larson, Edge is the best one. When Edge left, he tried to hang around for a while, but there was nobody out there that he really attached to like Edge. So basically he just quit fucking watching wrestling. And that sucks, to lose good fans like that. I don't know. I don't understand why you roll out the red carpet for CM Punk, unless, when you bring him back, you attach something onto his deal to make it extend, to make it last longer. And I don't even think that, honestly, he really wants to be there. I think that, honestly, when his deal is done, I think he's done. I really thought in the past that there's no way in the world Punk is really going to leave WWE. There's too much money on the table to be left there. But then again, I don't think he really likes the fans. So he's not like probably getting a real big high on doing house shows and doing interviews, shaking hands and kissing babies and stuff like that. I think he likes, being in big draw matches, but, in order to get those big draw matches, you have to do TV every week and this, that, and the other. To treat Punk any special and make him like a special guy, sort of like Brock Lesnar, where he only wrestles a few times a year. Honestly, in my opinion, he doesn't have that draw for me. To just come in and wrestle a few matches, have him come out and have him be a big draw. He's certainly not going to, be a big deal to me. Like, if they just make some announcement, CM Punk's going to be on Raw, I'm not really running to my, to sit down in front of the TV to watch him. He's just sort of like a guy. He does have the best wrestling matches that are out there, and I'm sure that like 10 years from now, when we're all sitting around watching the network, CM Punk matches are probably going to be the first matches on the card you go to check out, so that way, you can see the best match on the card. But today, he just doesn't really have that big, huge draw to me. I know that when I buy tickets to shows, a lot of times, like SummerSlam or WrestleMania, you buy your tickets so far in advance, you're not really buying for that one guy. So, it's not like if they had some big Punk match somewhere, I'm going to be, going out of my way to see it, like I went to the Royal Rumble to see The Rock wrestle. But, I don't know, I've stuttered and stumbled along, pretty well a lot here. But honestly, I don't see rolling out the red carpet for CM Punk. He honestly doesn't really deserve it. If anything, he walked out on us. I mean, WWE didn't pack his bag for him, hand it to him, and say, hey, hit the bricks. You know, basically, he didn't want to go out there on Raw, and he didn't want to lose to Cesaro, so Cesaro could, make his way into the Elimination Chamber. It was him, nobody else. You know, Punk didn't want to wrestle Kane at the Elimination Chamber. It wasn't anybody's fault but his. If he wanted to be, a WWE superstar, he would have put his trucks on, he would have went out there, he would have done what he had to do, and then he would have seen the life that he could live another day. It was his idea to take the month vacation, sitting on his couch, heading out to UFC. It wasn't mine. I'm not going to feel sorry for some guy for not wanting to go out there and entertain us anymore. There's plenty of guys on that roster, that'll do whatever Vince tells them to do, and worry about how they're gonna fix whatever later. That's just me. Peace out.